You may feel lonely right now, and if you don't now, at some point in your life, you're gonna feel lonely. And we have such trouble accepting the normal parts of life, the sad, boring, lonely parts. Because we can't accept these normal parts of life, we stick to things that bring us comfort, like hookups, like porn, like abusive and toxic relationships, overeating, drinking, smoking weed, all these things that bring a quick fix but don't actually solve the root problem. And it only makes us more reliant on those things, and we stay in our comfort zone. We're scared of being uncomfortable, and this makes us desperate. And when you're desperate for attention and for pleasure, this leads us to do bad things, and we end up just staying in our comfort zone. And one of the most important aspects of getting out of our comfort zone is learning to be alone, to be happy alone, and not be dependent on other people for your happiness. But most of us are too scared to be alone, and we often compromise to fit in with our friends. And this can be good. Like if you're shy, your friends can get you to go out and do new things. But this can also be bad. Like if all your friends are smoking weed and drinking, that's probably what you're gonna end up doing. Because what is the other option? The other option is you hang out with your friends and you do something you don't wanna do, you compromise, or you be alone. And most of us are scared of being alone. The people around us influence us a lot. They rub off on us, we rub off on them. If all your friends are unmotivated, then you're probably gonna be unmotivated. If all your friends are ambitious, then you're probably gonna be very ambitious too. The problem is that we do have some negative friends. And if we're dependent on other people for our happiness, and when you're scared of being alone, then we have no leverage because we're dependent on other people for our happiness, even if they're bringing us down. This is why one of the most important things is learning to be happy while alone. So if we have that negative thing, that negative person in our life, we have the ability to step away and not be devastated. And even if everyone around you is a positive influence, life still happens. People break up with you, friendships end, people die. And you want to make sure that you know how to be happy while alone. People who've always had a big group of friends, had stuff work out for them, and maybe got in a romantic relationship at a young age are being set up for eventual failure, because when something does happen and they are lonely, they're not going to know how to deal with it because they haven't experienced it before. If you're bored or lonely or sad right now, don't look for other lonely people. Don't sacrifice your morals or what you want to do just to fit in. And don't think that if I just get a girlfriend or a boyfriend, then I'll be happy. Instead, occupy yourself. Just find stuff to do. Find yourself. Take a personality test. Do things that you want to do. Try new things. Maybe it's painting. Maybe it's volunteering. Maybe it's hiking. And doing these things and finding what you actually want to do, this is where you're actually going to meet people who you have stuff in common with, because you're doing stuff that you want to do. You're learning to be happy while alone. You know, if you're just doing your thing and you're having fun doing it and you're finding people who also like doing that, that's how you meet friends. It's like you got your happiness from within and all these friends are extra instead of trying to constantly fit into the group. You should look at this alone time now as an opportunity, because everyone's gonna feel like this at some point in their life. You're experiencing this now, so you get to learn and grow from it now, so later you're gonna know how to deal with it. Because being lonely isn't a permanent thing. I've seen a lot of videos where people have talked about having 0 friends and why that's okay and good, and that's okay for a temporary thing. But in the long term, we need friends. We need people that we can trust, people that we can do things with, people that we can call if we have a flat tire or need someone to talk to or need a ride. The problem is not having friends. Problem is that we tend to just go with the flow, and we may be too dependent on other people to the point that we stay in toxic, bad relationships and rely on bad habits. So you need to learn how to be alone and get your happiness from within.